What is going on, everyone? It is that time of year. It's that time of month where we get together and we talk about UFC cards. Zach, happy 2025, mate. We made it.
We're
Another
here.
year.
The time is now.
We made it. No one. We had our critics. They said we wouldn't make the end of 2024. We did. We're back
hmm
again, leading into UFC 311 this weekend. Arman Tazoukian versus Islam Makhachev. It's a stacked card, this one. We've left this a little bit late. I've been away, as some people would know. But yeah, we're getting this one in, getting it done, and this will be released the day of the fights. So hopefully you're getting a chance to sit down and watch this before the fights. If not, you guys are watching it after, I guess. But Zach,
Oh yeah. Hold on. Before we go any further, show these people that new do, man. Give them a little, give them a little taste of the new swagger.
if I had
The
a good enough
new
camera, I'd
man.
do a turnaround. But basically, as I said, it's a new year. I've got the Diego Lopez
Oh
haircut going on here.
yeah. Everyone's clapping. The audience is going crazy right
20
now.
2025, I am just completely off tilt this year. For those of you who thought last year was bad, this year is just going to be absolutely insane. I'm like the opposite of all the other YouTubers, Zach. I don't sit down and think, what sort of videos can get me a few more subscribers? I sit down and I think, what videos can lose me subscribers? Because that's what's been I've been up to the past few months. But yeah, full tilt this year. The Diego Lopez mullet in full swing. Hopefully a bit of a breeze going during this video. We can get a little bit of air back
hmm
there, but
Turn that fan on.
it's a new year, Zach. All right. So, Zach, I wanted to kick off this collab this time around. Just I want to talk a little bit about, we have Top's Finest releasing next week if it's all coming on time. But I just want to put a pap on the Top's Gold label. It was a debut Top's Gold label that we have had, 2024 product, the last product that we had released before Christmas there. You've opened up your share of the product. Tell me, what did you think? And what did you think overall of the product being a debut product for UFC?
Yeah, it was definitely my first time looking at the product. I did a little bit of research before getting that box, just checking out kind of some of the baseball. I know it's big in baseball. Um, a couple of things about it. We had talked about this a little bit off air. They're definitely not as nice as like Chrome. They're not as nice, as Midnight, as some of the other products that we've had this year already. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. They're not as nice as Knockout. This is more comparable to like a Chronicles is kind of what I would put it as. It also does has that like three-tier select Panini Select type of base run. So like depending on if you think that's cool, if you think that's bad, it could definitely sway your views on this product. I actually looked, they're reselling for like 180 right now. So like that's surprising to me that the resale is still that high. It opened and released from Tops at I think it was 125.99 or 130, like right around that price point. So at that price point, if you can get in, I think this is actually a pretty good buy and a fun rip. Some of the SSPs that sold in this are actually selling for decent money, and I'm a little bit surprised that they're going for what they're going for. But yeah, man, it was a fun rip. Personally, I like the gold parallels. I know you like the gold parallels, so you're gonna get a ton of that in here. So something to keep in mind. But overall, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, they definitely went. Oh yeah, they went hard on the gold parallels for this one for sure. It seemed to be obviously that it's in the name gold label, so it should be
hmm
no surprise. But yeah, I myself, no surprises, haven't seen the product in hand. I haven't bought anything. I have sort of cruised a little bit around just to see what inserts and what designs there were out there. Nothing that really tickled my fancy enough to buy anything on the secondary market. But yeah, I'm very interested to hear about, as you said, if the hobby box pricing are up just now from where they were at release, because I was thought of the pricing was around 140. So that's surprising to hear that there has been somewhat of a pump in price. I myself, as I said, haven't seen the product in hand. I've only commented what I were talking about before, as you said. It did sort of, watching people open the product up, it did look like a thinner card stock. It did look like more of a Chronicles type product and a little bit thinner, high foil, high shine, which can make it look a little bit cheap sometimes. But yeah, I did do a little bit of a dive more so on the secondary sales, just on the card ladder platform as per usual. So, for what I could find, overall sales volume since its release, there's been 3,864 transactions or sales with this product, which is really quite impressive given the age, and it's only been around for what, a month now. So maybe a little bit longer. The over $100 sales, there was 321. So it's going to show that there's a lot of sales for this product between the 0 and $100 mark, with only 321 of 3,864 overall sales coming over $100. Then when we get down to the over $500 sales, there was 19 listings, but some of those were, of course, hobby boxes. So only 13 cards of that total were actually over $500. And the most expensive card I could see that has sold so far, obviously not allowing for any private deals that have happened or whatever, for so maybe some of the SSPs, but the most expensive card that I have found registered was the Dual Izzy Pereira
Mhm.
Auto at $1,200, numbered to the 25. So what I wanted to give you a little now, a little pop quiz, maybe for the people in the comments. But Zach, a little pop quiz for you. The Art of Fighting SSP, the case hit, or the one in two cases or whatever it was.
Mhm.
If Alex Pereira, if his Art of Fighting is selling for $200, how much do we think Bo Nichols' Art of Fighting is selling for?
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna say 100.
Wrong. $300, mate.
300.
So
Interesting, man.
they were the latest
Interesting.
comps. So once again, you're crazy out there
Yep.
speculating more on Bo Nickel than Alex Pereira, but to each their own.
That's how it is, man.
It's a new year, but some people are still up to the old tactics.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, when I was looking at some of these, I wanted to compare like kind of how it stacked with different products. So I looked, I just went on the upper end of sales. I'm glad you touched on the sales volume. So for I was looking at 1,000 and up for the products that have been released this year. So we had one from Gold Label, only one sale over 1,000. We had 12 from Knockout, which was surprising to me. I thought it may be a little more with Knockout, with them being a lot of on-card autos. We had 40 plus, honestly, too many to count. I was like, I'm done counting this. 40 plus in Midnight, and then again 40 plus in Chrome. So like if you're comparing 1 to 40, that's a big gap. So it kind of goes to show that like on the upper end of sales, Gold Label not necessarily the product you want. Um, I also did make a profit on my box, man. That's a very rare occasion over here when I'm ripping products. But since I got that Art of Fighting Izzy, I sold that for, let me look at my notes real quick. I sold that alone for 144.50, and that's take home profit. I ended up, I think it was 175 total that I ended up selling it for. And I sold my Bobby Knuckles auto, so I was up like $10 on the box. And I still have like a parallel Connor. I have a bunch of base rookies. I have a couple like lower end parallels. So actually a win over here.
Nice, man. Yeah, good win. Definitely, as you said, anytime you can, even make close to the box, let alone a few dollars
Yeah.
profit, and it's that's really living the dream there, man. So good on you for that. But as I said, it helped being at that lower buy-in price. Obviously, if
Yeah.
you're getting up to 180, I'm not sure what the um sort of price is going for your midnight and your chrome at the moment. But yeah, 180 is definitely a bit steep. But people are desperate to rip cards, and we're going to be getting finest next week. Speaking of which, after watching your breakdown of the product, mate, and as I said, people haven't seen that one, go over, jump on Zach's channel. It will be linked in the description below after this video, and you can check out his breakdown of Top's finest. But you got me psyched up, mate. I think I'm actually going to buy a box of that. So good job.
Yeah. About time, dude. About time.
All
You're
right.
gonna hit. I hope you hit something crazy in that too.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Damon Jackson, something. All right, viewer question. We got a question, mate. Just one this week, but we do appreciate it. Once
Mhm.
again, the prompt, Zach, prompt these people. What do they got to do?
In the comments below, we want to answer viewer questions. Go ahead and hit us up with any question. Next week it'll or next not next week, but next pay-per-view it'll be on my channel, and we'll answer whatever question you want. Fun topics, MMA related topics, card related topics, topics about this handsome guy with the new haircut, whatever you want.
You always got to slide one compliment in there, mate. We got through the first 10 minutes, but you can never escape it. But yeah, once again, what Zach said. Viewer question this week at Hobby Goon. One of the cool names we've got, don't you think? Hobby
Nice
Goon.
name.
I like that
Oh
name.
yeah.
Good stuff, mate. He says, or should I say, they say, great video. I have a question. How do you guys go about grading thicker cards like the UFC Immaculate Collection? Are there bigger grading sleeves in commas one touch you can buy, and do you package them any differently when sending them to PSA? Thank you. So I do assume here, Zach, buy bigger grading sleeves. They are referring to top loaders. Obviously, you can get thicker top loaders for the thicker stock cards, all the way up from, I think they do 25 point, and you get them all the way up to 180 point, I do believe. So for cards like Immaculate, you might be the more experienced one to answer this. But what size top loader? Obviously, do you know what size the Immaculate, some of the thicker Immaculate cards are? They would be up there, the 140 point or something, are they? Or 135 points? So you might be wanting
Yeah.
something.
Yes. I think for me, what I did with Immaculate is I had a really thick card that was an older Topps card, and whenever I went to get that sleeved, I just bought one of the bigger penny sleeves. So I think it was like 130 and above, and I used that on the Immaculate card. So I and I'm sure you can just Google and search the exact size of those, but as long as you're up in that bigger range, like 130, 180, it's gonna fit. And then for top loaders, it's basically the exact same process. You just want to figure out the exact size of the card. So this could go for any card, knock out any of the ones that are thicker. Find the size of the card, and then just match that with both the penny sleeve and the specific top loader. Or if you're going to send in cards to PSA, I know that they actually like the little not the top loader. What's it called?
Oh,
Uh,
the
I
Beckett shields, but yeah, they're not they
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
Beckett ones.
Oh,
But yeah,
the
they're
guard. It's like
yeah,
hard guard or something.
yeah,
That's what it's called. So it's like a flatter, kind of more flimsy, but it gives the grader more space to get the card out.
yeah.
And there's a bunch of different videos on that exact topic about how to specifically send in cards to PSA. And so I would definitely check those out. There's a bunch of them from different content creators and not necessarily UFC creators, but just like card hard people in general online. So check that out for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, as Zach is saying here, you want to be getting the right thickness for both the penny sleeves. So you definitely want to be sleeving up a card before you put it in that top loader. And if anything, if a little bit unsure, go on the bigger size. There's nothing wrong with getting a little bit bigger. You don't want to be jamming a card into the sleeve and then jamming into the
Yeah.
top loader if it is a smaller size, because obviously with the thicker cards you are going to be risking damage. And then also too, it can be easier for the grader to take out, which they're obviously going to appreciate. But just obviously a little tip, if you are going a little bit bigger and it does feel a little bit loose, just put a little bit of masking tape, a little bit of painter's tape across the top of the top loader so that card, if it moves around in the envelope or whatever, it isn't sliding out of the card completely. So,
Yeah, man. So just like a quick story on grading IMAX. So I had that Tom Aspinall up 10 rookie gold
the
that we
shadow
pulled from
box,
IMAX, the shadow box.
yeah.
Really nice card. I wish I would have held that, dude. That's one where I'm like, ooh, it shouldn't have sold on that. I remember you did a video a while back and you were surprised at how low that sold for, and that was my card. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, Damien's roasting me right now. But yeah, Hobby, if you're sending in cards, these thick IMAC cards to grade, like that is very risky, man. And it was a really the Tom that we sent in was a really nice card. I was hoping for like a 9. I don't really think the percentage of a 10 is like it's not gonna happen. It's so low. But it came back at 8. So my thought after doing that whole process is like I'm just not gonna grade those thick cards. Like when royalty comes out, I'm not gonna grade that. It's not worth it to me. We already know that the premium on a 10 in UFC space is not even big at all. So like unless you just are super integrating, I don't know if I would even do that personally. If I have one that I really like that I want to keep, I'm just gonna put it in like a one touch and just kind of keep it in that. But it's definitely a big risk, man. And yeah, the proper sized penny sleeve, the proper sized like card savers or in the card guards, and then just check out the other PSA videos and you'll be good.
Yep. Good stuff. And yeah, thanks, Hobby Goon, for sending that question. And then others, get them in there and we'll get them sorted out. We'll get them answered on Zach's collab next time around. All right, Zach, you know what time it is now. It's agree or disagree. Agree or disagree?
That is the question.
All right, Zach, I'm not going to lie here, mate. I've gone wild on this one. I know it. I know I've gone wild, but we've got to do this every now and then. And I'm putting the statement out there, Zach, for this time around. Let's keep a little these little things in mind here. Khabib, he had three successful title defenses in his reign as UFC middle lightweight champion. This weekend will be Islam's fourth, but it's only going to be Islam's third opponent. So let's keep it because he had those back-to-back fights with Volkanovski. Everything considering, Zach, if Islam wins this weekend, beating Arman, should his rookie card be worth more than Khabib's? Now, I want to put in a little add in there that I've added on here in the last 10 minutes pre-show.
Oh yeah.
Habib's rookie card, his base rookie card from 2012 Bloodlines. It's base, so not a parallel, not graded, raw. Its
hmm
last two comps, $450 and $393 in May 2024. There's some listed on eBay now. They're up around the 500, $600 mark. And then if we want to compare that to Islam's base refractor from 2019 Topps Chrome, that is selling at around $50 raw.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
So, Zach, if Islam wins this weekend beating Arman, should his rookie card be worth more than Habib's?
I love this question, Damien. You know I'm a Team Habib guy, so I was like, thank you for, giving me the alley-oop off the backboard here. I love to talk about these guys. I love to watch them fight, and I'm excited for this weekend too. But so at this point, man, Islam, if he does beat Arman, I think you could definitely make the argument that he's like either right here with Habib or even above Habib, depending on whichever way you want to argue that. He's had the huge moments, the Olives win, and people forget like Olives was freaking, Alex Pereira's right here right now.
Mm.
Olives was right here whenever Islam beat him. It's crazy how quick like fans minds change about people. We had the Volk two times. We had the insane Poirier finish. That was one of the most exciting fights I've seen in a while, and that was a really fun fight and a great performance by both guys. He's had a lot of finishes. Islam has, but dude, when you think back on Habib's run, it's sometimes you can look at these people and you can kind of like compare numbers, right? And then the numbers will kind of like push you over one way or the other. But Habib had so many weird things about his run. One, he was the first ever Dagestani guy to really come out and pop. He was the boogeyman. We hadn't ever seen somebody with that type of style, with that type of just like almost, all of his stats were kind of stacked in the wrestling. If it was an RPG game, like his stats were so high in the wrestling comparatively to what the game was at that time. Now you had the undefeated rookie or the undefeated record retired with undefeated, never got rocked, never got bruised, never got cut, never got KO'd. So it's just a really weird dynamic when you're comparing his legacy to other people's legacies. Also, him and Islam are training partners. So like Islam winning and is almost a prop to Habib in a sense, So it's almost like when these guys are winning together, it kind of brings everyone up that's a part of that camp. With all that being said, I think you have to kind of factor in those weird things when it comes to Habib's legacy. So if they are right here, when or if Islam beats Arman, I do think that I would still have Habib slightly higher. So I think that his rookie card and his first autos and those type of things should be valued a little bit higher, as well as what I think is one of the most important things when it comes to Habib is he was a part of the third ever biggest combat sports pay-per-view of all time, the biggest UFC pay-per-view of all time, and he was a huge player in that whole saga. So like that's kind of peak MMA when you look at it from that standpoint. So I disagree. I don't think Islam's rookie should be higher.
Man, I knew you were the man for this question. A lot of great points there, echoing a lot of my thoughts. I do agree, as you said, like paper. I mean, Islam had those two fights with Volkanovski. Volkanovski, before Islam beat him, obviously was, you want to
Yeah,
talk
he,
about
he
Charlie
was.
Olives, he was right
Yeah,
up there too.
it's a great
Very,
point.
very close fight. I believe that one, the first one should have been a draw. Obviously, just decided in the second one. As you said, once when how he beat Oliveira when he did for the belt,
Hmm.
great fight against Poirier. Khabib, on the other hand, that massive fight, probably I think minus like Connor coming back and fighting like Islam or something ridiculous like that. Like
Yeah.
I think that Khabib and Connor fight could I find it hard to be maybe ever shadowed if you take everything into like consideration, Connor's
Dude,
coked
the
up antics
drama.
into the lead up,
Yeah.
and then even like
Crazy.
what happened after, how the fight played out, what happened
Yeah.
after the fight, directly after the fight, Habib's behavior in that. It was just, yeah, I mean, that's the stuff that is just like, forget about
Legendary.
like, yeah, legendary is the best way to put that. And then on the other hand, we have Islam, who, as you said, is somewhat was in Habib's shadow, but is now obviously stepping out. He's a little bit more on the mic than what Habib is. Dominant champion so far. Obviously, had a closer fight with Poirier, but still, finished in a dominating fashion. The only thing that makes me think that Islam's card should be more expensive, if we're taking, I just talked about before how, Bo Nickal's got cards that sell more from Pereira's. So it's like it's hype that sells. And I don't understand then why there is such, an 8x gap between the rookie cards between Habib and Islam. It's not like Islam's rookie card was in a Panini product where there's, six different sets with,
Yeah.
25 different parallels. No, he was in Topps Chrome for 2019, and that was it. Obviously, Habib was also part of that early era where, um, they didn't have many rookie cards. It was just one or two sets max, and that was it. So. But the only thing, as I was getting at, that Islam, his career is still going. He's gonna,
Hmm.
as I said, if he beats Arman this weekend, he technically has one more title defense over Habib. Habib's not ever coming back. That's obviously set in stone. Islam could go up to 170. He could challenge at 170, depending on who the champion is. He could have, who knows? You never know with these guys. As I said, they're so dedicated to the religion and other things in life that, it's not about the money, but you never know when Islam will obviously retire as well. But I think you're right. I think if you take everything into consideration, I'm not to say that Islam won't ever be more expensive and couldn't ever be more expensive, but I think after this fight with Arman, if you take into the legendary moments that Habib has, as you said, he was the first fighter of an era to do what he did and the way
Hmm.
that he did it, which is very important. As you said, that all adds to his career and his legacy, not only the accomplishments, but just the overall legendary status that he has. So I also disagree with this statement, but I thought it would be a very fun one to talk about. And obviously, I think this could be a good one for people to get in the comments and let us know
Hmm.
what your thoughts are on this one as well this time around. Let us know. All right, Zach, and before we finish this one up, I just want to show everyone here because I was doing a little bit of research in terms of, comparing the rookie prices, and we can see here, I'll put it up on the screen for the people to see. I'll scroll through here the ridiculous price
Hmm.
that people were picking up Habib's numbered rookie cards from 2012 Bloodlines. We can see a couple of the examples of the Onyx or Black Parallel here, numbered to 88. These ones were buying up for literally 13, 14, $20 at auction, along even with the flag parallel for his rookie card, which is numbered to 188. Those ones are also selling between 10 and $20, which 10 years fast forward, those are thousands of dollars of cards now. And obviously, if I had a time machine, forget about winning Powerball. I would just be going straight onto eBay and buying up Habib and Connor rookie cards. But, I thought that was an interesting little point there to chuck in for people. All right, Zach, it is time for pay-per-view buys. Time for
For
pay-per-view
pay-per-view
buys.
buys.
All right, Zach, as we get into this weekend's event, UFC 311, we need to recap what happened for UFC 310. I myself had bought a Chase Hooper rookie card, select Silver Prism from his rookie year. You had an Aljo Fearless Mojo PSA 9. What happened with that? Mine wasn't up for sale. So nothing to report there. But how did you go with your UFC 310 pay-per-view buy?
I mean, obviously we know the outcome, right? This is the recap, this is the review, so we know that he lost. It was a really close fight though, and I think that may bode well for him in the future. With me trying to move this card, like he does have what it takes to be with the top guys, top of the heap in that division. You know, a division that's heavier than he was previously when he was in the champion. Um, not much action on this though, man. It only had 5 views and 2 watchers. I don't know, man. I don't know. It didn't make the sale. I think he's gonna have to have a spectacular finish, a spectacular highlight. I think, and for in order to move this one. But I mean, it's a up 25. It's a PSA 9. It's a good card. I think it actually looks pretty nice too. But for whatever reason, people just not on the Aljo train right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, as you're getting at, like even if Aljo was on the main card, probably even if he was currently champion and fighting for the title and had a one, um, yeah, you probably just would have struggled. Aljo is just one of those characters who I don't know. He needs some. I don't know what push could save Aljo, but yeah, he's just not a fighter that people are interested in buying at the moment, which sort of sucks. But hopefully his story turns around, and as you said, he had a good showing at 145. It was a really really good fight. No, Mosai is yeah, he's top three in that division for sure. Anyway, so good challenge for Aljo, and hopefully that gives him a push a little
Hmm.
bit more in that featherweight career, and you can move that card next time around. UFC 311, it's an absolutely stacked card, as I mentioned before. I might even stay up for this one. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. There's a lot of good fights, even some of the prelim fights. Obviously, we have the 2024 superstar that will be Peyton Talbot coming up in the 2025 product. But what do you got for UFC 311 with pay-per-view buys?
Dude, I got big card this week. Rare for me to be moving a big card, but I actually I'm gonna do it, dude. I got a 2022 Prism Umar Cracked Ice rookie PSA 10. And I got to buy it now for 275. It only has 2 views and 1 watcher, which I think is insane that they only 2 people have seen this card. Like it's a pretty big card comparatively for especially for his rookies. Like this is a nice card, especially the PSA 10. I think they kind of screwed this card a little bit in a sense that the cracked ice is so lost in the sauce with all the different parallels that they ended up doing
Hmm.
in 2023. You know, it was just all over the place. It was a blaster. It was blah blah. So it was just I think people are confused, but this was actually one in every box that for 2022 they put the cracked ice in. So like it's somewhat rare. It's what happens when we don't have pack odds, man. People just like
Yeah, people
there,
sleep.
there's no real proof, right? So
Hmm.
it's but we'll see what happens. I think if he can get a win, hopefully I can move this. I did kind of price it aggressively, but this is not one that I want to give away. Like he's a great fighter, could be a great future. So like somebody's gonna have to pay to get this one off me.
Is that a at best offer as well? Let the people know.
Yeah, it is best offer, but I did put a little cap on the bottom, so like it has to be a certain amount for me to even entertain giving it away.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, I mean, he's looking great in his career. So even if you weren't to move that one, this one, I think he's a shoe-in for to win that belt this weekend anyway. So you won't be your only opportunity. So I respect the fact that you've got a certain price for that one and you're holding on to it. I myself. UFC 311, I have the 2019 Renato Money Moicano. It's a museum gold relic. It's the canvas relic from UFC 227, if I remember correctly, and when he fought Cub Swanson. It's numbered to 35, as I said, the gold parallel 2019. It is his rookie card. Unfortunately, doesn't have the rookie stamp on it like some of his other.
Hmm.
I believe he's got a knockout card as well, or even his like base museum has the rookie emblem on it. This one doesn't, which sucks. But it's a nice red canvas relic. I've only just got this one. I've only just listed this one myself actually. And like Money Moicano wants the money, I also want the money for this card because to be honest, the fact that this is a specific matte relic, which we don't get anymore unless tops slash fanatics get their butt into gear. But I'm happy to sit on this one. I've got this one listed at 129 by it now, which is probably about double what I paid for it. But as I said, I think these like specific relic cards that actually come from an event that's listed. As I said, I think the red canvas looks really good too with this gold parallel. It's a nice looking card. I want my pretty penny for it, and if I don't get it, that's all good too, because I'll happily sit on a Honato Money Moicano rookie card.
Nice.
All right, everyone. Before we hit this outro, Zach had a wonderful idea that we touch on the year that was 2024. Zach came up with the idea that we could share with the people our favorite or, best buy of 2024 and also our favorite slash best sale of 2024. Awesome idea, Zach. You want to kick it off? What was your favorite or best buy of 2024?
Yeah, just behind the scenes, my display guy died, guys. So I'm looking down to see Damien down here now. So that's a little bit
That's
BTS behind the scenes change here. Um, yeah, my favorite sale it's honestly not like a very big sale, but it was one that I was nervous I wasn't gonna move, I guess is the best way to put it. So back in 2022, we opened a select box, 2022 select. Expensive box back then, man. People forget how expensive products were just a couple years ago. It was like 325, 350, so like a big rip. Ended up pulling Andre Muniz Zebra rookie card and sent that in to get graded. Boom, it pops gem 10. I'm like, oh, this guy's been winning. He's a rookie. Like, I'm gonna list this. It's gonna be awesome. I tied it to his fight week. He loses. I'm like, oh man, he'll win the next one. I'll move it. He loses again. So I'm like, dude, I'm never gonna sell this card again. And it was one that I probably could have got, 150, 200 if I would have sold at the peak. So a good lesson there on my end. But I finally ended up selling this randomly. It was up for a buy it now at 100. I had the floor at 80. And I was like, man, if I can just move this, thumbs up, if I can just move this for 80, it'll be nice. And, I'll be happy with that. Somebody finally ended up pulling the trigger at 80, and I was able to move this card. So not the biggest sale for me, but one that I did not think I was going to get to move. So I was excited about that.
Just a relieving sale for you. Yeah,
Relief. Get it out of here.
that's surprising. I'm surprised you didn't get about 750 for that one, being it's an animal print. People were going absolutely
Yeah.
safari wild for those a
Oh
year
yeah.
or two ago.
They're in the Badlands getting hunted by lions trying to find these zebra prints, dude.
So, but yeah, I understand that one. My best sale was actually coincidentally, I think it might have been the highest sale, but it
Nice.
was the 2017 gold parallel on card auto for Max Holloway. Sold that one recently when he fought, had it at auction. And what I liked about this sale, why it was my favorite sale, not only because it was one of the high dollar amounts, I ended up getting 210 for that one, was because I put it at auction. The dipstick didn't end up paying for it, had to cancel it. I just listed it up, frustrated as hell, listed that one up again, and I had a lovely gentleman offer me the same price as what the auction was. So I was happy to obviously sell it at the same auction what I was meant to get it for. And yeah, not only that, I was talking a little bit with the guy who bought it. His first time ever buying a UFC card. He'd owned some signed photos that he'd got from Max Holloway in person himself down on the beach in Hawaii. The guy was from Hawaii. He left me positive feedback. It was just a fantastic experience
Hmm.
that, topped off a very sour one. So that was my favorite sale from the previous year, 2024.
I
What
love
about
it. A feel good story,
a
as they would
feel-good
say.
ending to the year for sure? All right. What about your favorite card? What are your favorite pickup? I got a feeling I know what this is going to be. And
Yeah,
if
this is
anyone who watches your videos
yeah.
regularly would
It's
was gonna is gonna probably pick this one for sure.
yeah, it was kind of anticlimactic because like you're saying, like this was if you follow my channel at all, you heard about this 10 different times. Me trying to get it, planning, blah blah. Like there's a lot. I'll just keep it short. It's obviously the Khabib first auto 2014 tops knockout. But one thing about that I do want to talk about is kind of leading up to that card. It did teach me kind of some valuable lessons I think that I'll use in the future. One, it was my first ever like in-person deal at a card show, and that was a kind of a weird experience. I have a little bit of negotiating experience, but like definitely not in that type of environment with that much on the line. Like this card was not popping up a lot. It's super rare. This was a really high grade. I had been saving forever. I had known this guy had had it forever. So it was kind of a great experience as far as negotiating for future deals. Also, it was a really good experience for me to like stop buying random stuff and like really focus on trying to save for a big card. And that alone, I think was, one of my favorite things about 2024 is that I was able to really stick to a plan, follow it, and then get, my Grail card in the process. So that's definitely my favorite buy of 2024.
Yeah, you from memory too, you also had a bit of consolidation going on there with, so you had experience with,
Oh
moving
yeah, I
some of that
traded.
smaller stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's a
Uh,
great point. Yeah, I was able to trade with for the first time for a big card also.
yeah, no, definitely a big one. As you said, you were, playing around with that much money, playing poker up there with the big boys definitely would have been a good learning curve for you.
Yeah.
So you're up there now, mate. There's probably no coming back down to these, 50, $100 cards now. But yeah, no, no surprise there, as I said, for anyone who's watching your videos regularly, and then definitely, an epic pickup for 2024 for you. Myself, I am denied about this because I've had a few. No, as I said, not throwing around the cash that Zach is over here at card shows, but I did have a few cool little cards that I've picked up. I was going to have some honorary mentions, but it's not worth really doing that. I can do a PC update video on the channel later on and down the year, but. This was the year 2024. I finally got back into it. The best entertainment there is, WWE.
Yeah.
Part of that was finding, a PC main buy for that one in Jey Uso, which I did. WWE, for those people who do not know, their first year of prison was the year after UFC, so their debut year for prison was 2022. This one actually was a gold prism. So I was undernard. I was actually going to buy the blue shimmer, which is numbered to 11, which was a nice looking card too. Haven't really seen the shimmers in person, so I was a little bit, hesitant to buy that one. And I also knew this. Like this is one thing I learnt last year, and one thing that I would like to share with other people as well. And I'm sure Zach, you're going to probably nod your head with this too. But what I realized about me, myself, and my collecting, if there's a parallel, even if it's out of your reach now, if it's out of your, without of your budget, if you haven't seen one pop up, there's a parallel you truly want for a card, don't settle and buy, a lesser parallel because what happens is if you ever do find that card, if you ever do save up the dollars, I mean, at least this is me, I shouldn't speak for other people, so probably scrap all this, but what I was going to say is I'm happy I didn't end up buying the blue shimmer to 11 because once the gold popped up, I knew I was going to buy the gold and then I would have just had the blue shimmer and I would have
Right.
been, well, that's, compared to the gold, I don't even really want this card anymore. So I'm glad I didn't pull the pig on the blue shimmer, waited out, the gold popped up. I actually lost it at auction. Sorry, I didn't lost it at auction. It popped up. I had it saved on eBay in my watch list. This one popped up and sold within like 24 hours, and I missed it. I only saw that I'd missed it, and it had sold for the buy it now price. And I was absolutely pretty upset because it was a super well scented copy to debut year gold prism for JU. So luckily, the seller put it back up 3 months later as a PSA 9, exact same copy that sold when I missed it out. At a buy it now best offer, picked it up for a bit over $200. So was happy that he accepted the deal and accepted to get that card into my PC now. So as I said, not the most expensive card I think I bought this year, but just one that I truly wanted, and I'm glad that I actually have. And as I said, given that I waited out, got the parallel that I wanted, and didn't end up with a few other parallels that I probably would have had to sell by now because there's only one true parallel that I wanted of that. So.
What's the pricing in that area? Is it comparable to UFC? Is it less? Is it more?
I'd say it's less. Obviously, some of the
Mm.
superstars for WWE, they get up there. Although I would say, Jey Uso is probably one of the more popular wrestlers on the roster. His cards sell for pennies compared to some of the superstars. So, makes PCing him really fun
Yeah.
and, makes it affordable. As I said, I picked up his first year gold prism for $200 in a PSA 9. I'm going to crack it out and send it back to BGS to the fraudsters over there. But like, I mean, yeah, like I've still been looking out for a Max Holloway or a Sean O'Malley debut gold prism and, can't find them. And not only that, they would be, thousands. So,
Nice, man.
All right, Zach, that's us done for this collab. Once again, check out in the description below. You will see all the details for Zach's content over there on Instagram, and also he's killing it over there on YouTube. So join his community if you haven't already, and you will see us next time for the UFC 312 collab over on his channel. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the fights, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.